Anglican primate calls for new constitution. Nigerian 64th Independence Day celebration to be held low-key, says federal government. Edo police beef up security ahead of Edo governorship election. This and other stories we shall be discussing this morning. A beautiful morning to you viewers. This is now streaming on ACNN TV, coming to you from the capital city of Abuja. I am Adishewa Urioye, and with me in the studio is Barrister Patrice Akwara, a politician and legal practitioner. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
How are you
Welcome.
doing?
All good. So now joining us virtually is Ambassador Virgins Kelechi Onyeze, a PDP youth stakeholder and youth advocate. Also joining us virtually later from River State is Honorable Chris George, an APC chieftain. If okay, is online. Good morning, sir. Viewers, remember you can call in to make your contribution via our phone numbers, which is shown on your screen, or send your comment via our various social media handles also showing on your screen. It is always a delight to hear from you. But first, let's take a brief look at the headlines of some selected newspapers as well as some trending issues. I'll start with the Punch newspaper with me here, and going with the lead story on Edo poll. Military man state boundaries. EFCC goes after vote bias. More of this on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. And the kicker says security agencies in show of force. Government declares holiday. Materials arrive 18 local governments, and an INEC upbeat of success. And we have the picture stories of security men mounting up, and men of the Nigerian police force preparing for the Edo governorship election as independent National Electoral Commission officials move electoral materials from the central bank in Benin City to 18 local government areas. This picture was of on Thursday. And the story below this picture story is address ticket refunds in 24 hours. Federal government tells NCAA. More of this on page 20. And Lagos Derrick abductors demand 30 million naira ransom. More of this on page 4. An FX crisis, PZ cousins to sell Nigeria subsidiaries. More of this on page 19. And we'll take the story beside the masthead there on NECO. We'll invite 40 schools over mass cheating in SSCE. More of this news on page 37. And the story above the masthead is 4 governors back Wike's support for PDP chair. And Dangote officials, refiners tackle marketers over imported PMS. And the last story I'll take here is FEMA EDA clashes, and the federal government panel recommends open grazing branching. More of this story on respectively page 14, 19 and 28. I'll move over to the Guardian newspaper, and the front page is covered with the Edo poll news. Edo decides 2024. The big pages 4 and 5 on that's on people, politics, power, and their gods, fathers on a war path. And beside that is NNPCL marketers return to PMS, import over such fall from Dangote. I don't know if it is just me, but this NNPCL marketers return to this story. It has a lot of there's no transparency. When Dangote is trying to be transparent, we see I don't know, it's now a game of chess, and we are at I don't know if we're just watching, or because there's no transparency here. We hear one thing of today, we hear another thing tomorrow. What do you think is actually, what do you think is your opinion with this that is going on?
About my opinion, for me, the discrepancies and the inconsistencies, it's just in the public glare. It's so apparent that the blind can see that there is a lot of corruption involved. How can NNPC, that is to say government, restrain Dangote from selling to whoever they want to? It's just like I carry banana to go and sell in the public, and then you're telling me not to sell to XYZ, who are also as citizen as ABC. You understand? So it shows that there is lack of integrity, lack of transparency in the whole petroleum sector. But that is even half of the issue. The other part, which is even very worrisome, is that they are taking us for granted.
Right.
And then we have consented to their taking us for
granted.
So we're just watching.
Wow.
And suffering and smiling, and we're just watching the whole drama unfold. It's a travesty, honestly.
Well, just like you said, we are all watching, and apparently we are even suffering and smiling, because imagine buying for over 1,000 naira and people are still queuing. I thought this will even come to an end. Like, okay, the worst is happening, but it should be available. But each day it comes out like, let me just continue with the rest of the story.
It's a charade.
Sincerely. And on PDP crisis, on the Ghanaian newspaper, we have more cracks in governors as BOT meets NASS caucus. More of this on page 30. And outrage as EFCC's Bello arrest saga mocks 80.2 billion naira fraud charge. That is on page 6. Anxiety over Edo poll as police vowed to descend on troublemakers. And appeal court approves FG Onogen out of court settlement. And Fubara's loyalists to contest council election under APP. We have this story respectively on page 6, page 7, and page 29. And the last story I'll take here. Court orders Bellamol to pay to $21 million, 10 billion naira contract debt to BGP CNPC. We have more of this story on page 29. Now moving over to the Vanguard newspaper, starting with the story above the masthead. Federal government records $2.35 billion foreign reserves inflow in 7 months, says Edo. More of the story on page 22 of the Vanguard newspaper. And on ArtShape, Nigerians petitioning for their lawmakers recall, says INEC. More of this on page 36. Beside the story is ex-British envoy cautioning against October protest, alleges foreign influence. This details on page 9. Hiked petrol price has rendered 70,000 minimum wage useless, says NLC. More of this on page 2. And below the picture stories here on End Bad Governance, lawyer secured release of 6 Kano protesters. That's on page 6. Federal government wants Nigerians to relocate as Cameroon releases water from Lagdo Dam. And I think this is all we'll have on take on the Vanguard newspaper. Now, they are advising Nigerians to relocate. Is it that they are not aware? It's funny how each year it's like a series that happen this time of the year. they release new episode, then I'm sure next year another episode will be released. They do it this maybe yearly. So because I'm sure they know that this is going to happen at this time of the year. How come they are not even putting out some caution? How come they are not doing anything involved? Or is it that they are doing something and it is not, we are not aware of it? The Lagdo Dam,
The dam
yes,
issue.
telling people that okay, the flood is going to, because they said it's going to be more than what we've even experienced from before in these areas.
Yeah, the issues around dam management. Most countries use the dam technology for farming. They also use it for electricity generation. But at times they need to, if there's heavier rainfall within that area, they open it up so that the waters can flow out. And being that I think Cameroon is up, city slightly up, so when they release it, naturally it flows down to Nigeria. So I saw somewhere that the Nigerian government intend to build about 6 buffer. So that is to say, so things that can hold it
Okay.
when the water, the deluge, keep pouring, the waterfall, so that the buffers can hold it and possibly divert it. So it's I think it should, if we have an innovative government, just that most of our government personnel, they are around oil, petroleum, politics, so nobody is making a long-term plan. Even the civil servants themselves are wrapped around salary increases. So when you look at it, there's no proper governance, no institutional governance going on in this country. All you see is a fire brigade approach to issues, just like this one has come up now.
We hear of the plan and to build 5 buffer dams, and this is it. I'm sure next year again,
immediately there is dry season,
we will forget about it
and move over to
something else.
So,
the next year they will now remember
so
that
it's just a
there's
fire
a plan.
brigade approach to issues revolving around governance, revolving around society. There is no proper long-term situational addressing of issues. It's just, and the people are watching, like I said earlier. We are just watching. Everything is revolved around ethnicity, religion, and stuff. There is no, and some other people are inside the church praying, waiting for miracle, to happen, and some are jackpahing, some are abandoning the ship, jumping out. I saw a documentary yesterday. Some people going through the Moroccan, the desert axis. Some of them drowning.
Yeah.
Some of them are arrested.
So
it's hogwash. There's nothing going on in this country, and everybody just pretends we're just playing the ostrich, pretending that God will just from somewhere come down and help us. That's just the way things are going on.
All right, viewers, please don't forget to call in. You can share your views, opinion of our social media platform, or you can also call in to contribute to the show. Now, good morning, Honorable Chris George. Good morning this morning.
Good morning to you.
Yes, sir. I don't know if you were
Good morning.
online.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. I don't know if you were online during the newspaper
Can you hear
reading.
me?
Were you with us throughout the newspaper
Yeah, I
reading?
was online. I was listening to you.
Okay, so please, what actually,
Yeah,
what
I was
news,
listening to you.
what news caught your attention that you like to give an opinion on to start with?
Well, I don't really have anyone to give opinion. It's just the fuel matter with Dangote. I think for me, the federal government hasn't really tell us what is really happening, and with Dangote, and Dangote himself maybe is trying to be truthful, but the fear of the federal government does not want him to say anything that will tarnish his refinery's image. Let's just keep it at that and see. Maybe possibly they be working out something for the fuel to come down. what the common man want to hear is that we are buying the fuel on a cheaper rate. That's what the common man want to hear. Most of us using the PMS for our cars, we are buying as much as what we are supposed to buy. So let's still give them time and see what will happen. Like yesterday, I went to buy somewhere and I discovered that it has come down from 1,400 naira. It was in Port Harcourt, about 1,200. So I'm still praying that it comes down more. So let's just see. And then Nigerians should also be concerned because this is our country, this is our nation. If it perishes, all of us will perish. So we should try to know what is happening. Let's not just leave governance for politicians to do. So let us also know. Let the Nigerian Labour Congress be asking the federal government, followed up with the federal government, and know what is really actually happening. So we'll know our headway, we'll know where we are going to.
Okay, sir, you said you said three things. We should pray, we should keep praying, we should be involved, and all of that. Can you say that your party is actually doing what they, because, well, you know, before the advent of all of this, your party came out, they have the capacity to be in leadership. So can you say they are doing well? Because it's funny how we now have to pray, we have to work together and all of that, where what we just need is competent hands doing what they need to do at the right time.
Well, I wouldn't say 100%. Like I will always tell you the truth. I wouldn't say my party, the APC, is really doing well at this time, because the challenges is facing both the PDP, both the APC, and every other person. I'm also directly involved. It's affecting me too. So I wouldn't say that the party is actually doing well. One thing people do not understand, there is a leadership of the party, and the president is a member of that political party. And you know, sometimes people take blames to the party instead of taking blame to the president. Yes, I know the party have a major role to play because they are the party who brought in the president. So the party should also be asking the president the activities and what is really happening in the nation. I agree with you totally that somehow you will blame the party sometime, but you should also look at it that the president is a president of Nigeria and not a president of APC. A rule that APC has to play is for the leadership of the party to let the president know, oh, Mr. President, Nigerians are crying because the party is a grassroots, is a vehicle. So what the party needs to do is to tell the president, President, this is what the Nigerian people are actually going through. This is what you need to do. So the party is to advise. The party is not the working machine. The president is the one that is there that is working. What the president needs to do, the party needs to do, is to advise, which I am sure and certain that the leadership of the party is doing their best, because they are also feeling what Nigerians are also feeling. They are not exceptional. They are not out of this country. They didn't fall from the moon. The party does not have a special fuel station where they go to buy. So everybody is working. For what I know is the party is working day and night to see how things will be normalized. And I believe if the president, the leadership, the FEC can take the advice of the party, everything will work out for good, and which I know they are working on that. So you won't automatically say APC as a party. Put it that the leadership which APC brought, how is APC advising the leadership to protect the interests, the integrities of Nigeria? So it's not about the party, it is about the leadership, the president. So let's put it to the president and not to the party. The party is doing their best, the party is advising. So that's it.
All right, thank you, Honorable Chris George. I'll move over to the trending stories. Speaking about the primate of Church of Nigeria, Anglican Communion, Most Reverend Eri Udukuba, who has urged the federal government to initiate a process for creating a new federal constitution that truly represents the Nigerian people. He actually warned that shying away from doing so under this administration will amount to postponing the doomsday, and which is actually true, because at a point we've been suffering and smiling for a long while now. At a point, I'm sure there will be a point where people can't take it anymore. Some trending videos this morning, people actually wailing bus drivers, market people, that they cannot even feed their family based on what money, the expenses already. So I'm seeing war happening very soon. Even though the president shelves the UNGA 79 trip to address the national challenges, and Nigeria's 64th Independence Day celebration to be held locally, and we see that the mother of the nation, that's the first lady, is working overtime. I think where she, aside the farming, that she urged Nigerians to farm, of which not everybody has the space for garden. She also has outdone herself with the new Ashoebi they want to release, and it's now the celebration should be held. I don't know how this will help the people, because where we see the NNPCL is not transparent, that is a call for attention on its own, like emergency as it is now. But now you're telling people that we need to celebrate the independence. What are we celebrating? I don't know. Maybe because of they are the Yoruba people. You know, Yoruba is known for party. Even if they borrow the money to, even if they borrow the money to.
Now you have my Yoruba people.
I'm also Yoruba. I'm also Yoruba. So maybe that is what they are bringing on, because when I saw the party dress, I'll be like, it's like you can't pay your children's school fees, you can't give them food, you don't even have
transport
money, and yet you bought Ashoebi that
how much
people,
are they even selling?
we don't know yet, but since they are keeping it on a low key, trust me, when they are done with the celebration, afterwards we are going to hear how much they sold it for and what went down, because I'm so sure about that.
Nigeria is a comic relief. A comedy.
All right, so moving on, the INEC releases guidelines for recall of elected officials. We've seen it on all the front line newspapers on the Edo poll. Government declares Friday work-free day, and no glitch, no itches. Peter Obi wants INEC. Military man state boundaries. EFCC goes after vote buyers. Are they still doing that with all of this that is happening? Both buying vote with
Yes.
what?
With money.
So there is no lesson learned, or is it robots that are buying this? Because I feel what we are experiencing is actually the height of it. If you're in support of bad governance before now, this should be like an awakening call that, okay, no, we want something is right. What is wrong with people?
There's nothing wrong with people. The only thing wrong is that a lot of Nigerians who have the opportunity to be on TV, who have the microphone like you do, don't really understand what's up. They don't really understand the situation in the country. They don't really understand the psyche of the people. And in most cases, we overestimate the people. You are talking about what is wrong with the people. Nothing is wrong with them. The thing is that the government, they've weaponized poverty. They used poverty as a weapon to the extent that the voting majority that are located in the rural areas, they will take 500 naira to cast their vote, because to anybody who is willing to offer them that 500 naira, because they believe, let me tell you, as somebody who has contested election,
I was about asking you that.
Yes.
Why is that a weapon?
That's why
Vote buy.
that's why I'm going. they believe that the last time they will see you is this voting time.
Oh.
So anything you want to tell them, as far as they're concerned, it doesn't mean anything. Because over time, a lot of people have come in the past, have said the same thing, even better things, that sounded musical in their ears. And they voted those people thinking that things will change. That is number one. So they believe that this is the last time they will see you if your name is on the ballot, and on account of that you're bringing money. So let them collect whatever they can. That is number one. The second mentality they have, which most of the people, whether they call them pressmen or media people, or the people who are privileged to always talk on social media and everybody listen, is that the voting people also feel that even if they vote that angel per se, that their vote will not count. Wow. They believe that, okay, look at how they voted. For example, in the last election, they believe that they voted for Peter Obi in most places. But see how the votes were manipulated, especially in Rivers State, even in Imo State, where I come from, in a lot of places in Nasarawa. I watched the video of a retired civil servant in Plateau State. He did a video. This man was a retired permanent secretary. He said he was there when they finished counting votes. That P2B had about 45,000. The rest had 10 and 2. And he left. By the time the people who took it to the local government, the collating center, by the time it was announced, P2B was just giving 4,000. He said the thing. I watched it on social media. So you can imagine the despondency of the voting public, especially in the rural areas. So they believe that whatever you are telling them, at the end of the day, they will not see you again. So if you have anybody willing to give them that $1, they will collect. Another thing, they believe also that after voting, that their vote will not count.
Oh wow.
So it's a despairing situation. So whatever you want to say, just say it. But this is exactly what's going on in this country. So, and let me tell you something about the EFCC and all this, They are not there to do anything. They're only there to work against opposition parties. The last election I saw in some places where they are doing vote buying in front of all the security agencies for the party in power, and they didn't do nothing.
Okay, I would like to ask Honorable Chris that vote buying actually happened, and for especially your party, they participated hugely in that way. It's all over the internet and all of that. So do you think this will come to an end? Like my own studio guest said, it is a mentality which is here to stay. So are you saying that people can vote somebody based on what he can do, and they should hold him accountable if he's not going to deliver or when he's already in power?
Well, yes, the truth about the whole thing is that vote buying, I wouldn't say that my party buy votes and all those things, because I'm not actually contesting in the election. If a candidate chooses to buy votes, that's the candidate. But the party will not want to go tell individuals, oh, come vote for our party, we'll give you money and all those things like that. It's people contesting for the election. Like if I'm contesting for election, I should be contesting on the sideline that the people should support me for who I am and what I can do for them. That's what I should do. But for me, as an individual, going to buy votes, I wouldn't want to. I'm going to buy votes from the people, giving them money and all those things. I wouldn't want to do that. Let me take, for example, I was about running for an election. Some of the party members, before the primary election was coming, to tell me, oh, Chris, you need more money. You need money to do this. You need money. You have to give us also amount of money that we can make you the candidate of the party and all those things. So delegates will support you. You have to bring money for delegates. I told them one thing, that the truth about it is that I wouldn't pay anybody. I don't even have the money to pay anybody. I won't have the money to pay. I don't have that money to pay. I am only coming to give myself to my people. If they want to support me, they support me. If they don't want me, then fine. Let me go my way. I wouldn't want to use my money that I'm supposed to be using to run election, going from one place to the other to tell them my visions and what I can do for them, to buy them over. I wouldn't want to do that. On election day, I'm giving somebody's money to vote for me. So if I give money to vote for me on election day, automatically I am saying to the people, once I win election, I will want to make the money I have already paid. I've already settled them, so there's no point of me working for the people. Yeah. You understand? So my conscience should tell me that you don't need to give them money to vote for you. You don't need to buy votes. If you know you came with a good intention, go out there, contest election, let the people vote for you, not buying votes. I condemn entirety. In entirety, I condemn completely buying of vote. If my party, the APC, is doing that, which I have not experienced, I condemn completely in entirety. But what I would tell you is that it is not actually the party that buys votes. It is the candidates that buys votes. Candidates are the people contesting under a platform called a party, like APC or PDP or Labour Party. So it is a candidate who will choose. If I want to buy my vote, I buy. If I don't want to, but I will tell the people, I advise the public, don't, anybody who comes to give you money and said, oh, vote for me, don't worry, give you 500 naira, give you 1,000, 2,000, vote for me. That person is not doing you good, because a time will come when the person is not performing. If the person is not performing and you want to raise alarm, you want to say anything, they will tell you, why are you shouting? Why are you lamenting? We have already given you money. Oh, you finish eating the money we gave to you and you are coming to lament? We bought our vote. So if the public do not collect the money that the politicians comes to give to them and willing to vote for those politicians, and they're ready to defend their vote anywhere, anytime, even in the law court, anywhere, even to INEC office. See, the problem we are having in Nigeria, as a politician I am, the problem we are having in Nigeria is the people, the citizens are so scared. They are so afraid. They are not ready for anything. They are already shout. When things are not going rightly, they come out and begin to shout and begin to make noise. No, that's not what we want. We need lead people who will come out to say, oh, see, we voted, we defended our vote. At that, you can have mouths to say. Take, for example, the last protest that they were supposed to do, I think that was in June or something. What happened? People collected money. Youths collected money. The youths who are shouting, oh, we are the future of tomorrow, we need a better nation and all those things. You came and you collected money from these politicians. And then you didn't go out of the street. Why these ones we are saying we are going out of the street? These ones are saying, no, we are not going out of the street. So the masses, the majority are saying, no, we don't want. They will shoot us. They will shoot. So the problem we are having in this nation is fear. We are so scared. Let me borrow a word from my political leader, Rotimi Amechi. He said, you must fight for your nation, defend your nation. That we have used fear. That I'm a politician. Let me tell you what politicians do. Politicians will want to enslave you so that you'll be answering yes, sir to them all the time. Once they come to you, you are yes, sir, yes, sir. So, but I will tell our youth one thing: choose not to be a yes, sir youth again. Be transformed. Renew your mindset on these things that is happening. Do they really like what is happening in Nigeria today? You understand? So if we put our mind and walk in unison, you see all these things will stop and say, no vote buying and all those things. If somebody in your family, we should be a watchdog to members of our family who are going to collect money to vote. You can't collect money and you are saying you want to go and vote for that person when you know that person will not do anything and does not have anything of steps to give. You collected money and you voted. That is where we are today in this nation. Because in 2023, there was so much vote buying. People pay for you to vote them, and today they are in power, and you don't have anything to say because of the money you collected. Maybe probably they are trying to the leaders are trying to get back the money that they use in buying their votes and all those things. And after, when they must have finished making the money, they will now say, oh, we have finished making our money, or maybe we should go back again. And before that time, that will be before 2027. And then you see before that 2027, you see things begins to come down. See, there are many strategies they want to use in 2027. The strategies are, they know people are suffering now. 2025, the ending of 2025, they begin to make things get softer and a little bit softer for people, because they know people will want to collect their money during the election period, collect their money and not vote for them. So at the end of 2025, 2026, they begin to make things a little bit softer for people. And then at the end of it, that shows that they've even bought you over. And then you say, oh, you see, we said it that this person will be nice, this person will be good. At the end of it, in 2027, you are going to put hand again for them. They vote for you. And when you vote for them, and when you finish voting for them, after when they are sworn in on May 29, they will come back to that foundation of that suffering that they wanted to give to you, because they have already, they've lost a lot just to make sure that they buy you for you to be able to vote for them, so that they will have something to present to the tribunal, appeal court, and to the Supreme Court, and say, oh, we won election. But I think I advise people that we should be very vigilant. The citizens must be very vigilant, that if you see all these things coming to be, tell them, we know your strategies. We know you will still take us back to the distance, but the citizens should look for a better candidate. I used to tell people, I've told people that election in 2027 should be about the people and not about the politicians. It should be about the people, because if it is about the people, when you get into leadership, they will not fight against you. They will not work against the masses. The masses will be the one controlling the system and making sure that what is being decided in Nigeria is taken by the masses, being decided by the masses, because it is only the masses that are going through the pains. Those people up there are not going through the pains, because they are in government houses and eating whatever they want to eat, enjoying what they want to enjoy, driving free fuel, free food, and free everything. But you and me, we are buying this thing to eat. So
thank you very
we
much,
must,
sir,
as a matter of fact, prepare ourselves for 2027, knowing that if these people start in 2025 to tell us, oh, things want to come down normal, things will be better, tell them we have heard it before.
tactics.
It is because it's approaching election. You don't want to give us money on election day, so you want to make things soft now, so that you will fight us, who will vote for you, and then you will fight us after your inauguration. So we must be wise. We should take fear out of our mindset. You should not allow a politician to come and induce you. Me, I'm a politician. I'm contesting for 2027, but I am not buying votes. I will not buy votes. I will advise even my party not to buy votes from give money for anybody to vote for me. If I fail, I fail. If I win, I win. I know if I win, my people has voted for me.
Thank you, Honorable. Barrister Kwari, you wanted to say something in response to...
Yes, I want to say that, well, he said he wants to contest in 2027. That's fine. Well, we're just talking of what's going on.
Yes.
The parties bring out money to buy votes. I've been in PDP, APC, I've been a candidate in AA, and so the parties vote, even the governors, the incumbent governors of those, whenever there is an election, there is always money earmarked for heads of things to be done. They earmark money for this, for the buying of votes, and for all these things. And these things are done. These are done in public. It's not hidden. Do you get? So, if he's a politician and he doesn't know all these things, well, maybe he's practicing on that. But the thing is, the things are open, and that is why EFCC set up to catch people who are buying votes. Do you understand? So it's a notorious fact. Thing. Yes, it's a notorious fact that such things are going on.
All right. Okay. So Good morning, Prince Godstein.
Yeah, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
We've been discussing about vote buying and politicians using it as a weapon. And just like one of our virtual guests said, that we have youth who are supposed to be fearless, but they are trying to possibly maybe replay or the same generation. You know, the youth are used to insulting the older generation that they led us to where we are today. But now, I don't know. It may seem as though that they are still doing what our fathers did, possibly being quiet, activating the fearful mode, and of which politicians actually use that to get the people not to say anything, or use them like, okay, how much I can buy your silence for, and we see that. So can you say that the youth of this generation is actually repeating the same circle as the generations before?
All right, I'm tackling a vote buying. You understand that it's a pari passu something. If you know what the law says as per receiver, somebody that purchased a stolen property, if you know what the law says, the receiver is the capital criminal in such kind of matter. So in vote buying, you do not even expressly blame the politician that offer this money to purchase votes, but the person that allow his vote to be purchased. Now there is a system that gives you the right to elect your leaders but as citizens you turn out to sell your franchise. It is not painful. So we should not even bad-mouthing the politician, but we should carry out a campaign for a reform among citizens. It is not proper. It is unwise. It is foolish and selfish to sell your vote for a cup of rice when peace no able show himself. So on vote buying, the citizens should be discouraged from selling their votes.
But now, looking at what is
nobody
happening in the
receives-
country, because there's hunger in the land, are you saying that the citizens will stand on their ground and not be accept what will be offered to them, even if it is 500 naira?
We are talking about hunger. We are talking about vote buying. How much will be able to sustain you? How much will you sell your vote that will be able to sustain
But
you?
do they know
week
this?
or even a month?
Do they know this? Like now that a lot of things is actually going on. People can't afford 3 square. Is it three? No, they can't even afford 1 square meal a day. Like it's that bad. So how do we put an end to this? Even if they want to stand on their ground, or maybe that's why things are not even going well, so they can use this as a weapon. At any time they come around, they can give you 1,000 naira. Okay, maybe from 500 they increase it to 1,000 naira for you to do what they need you to do.
To cut the long story short, things are not going well in Nigeria, and what people need to do, essentially, everybody knows what to do. It's just that there is this criminal conspiracy. I call it criminal conspiracy of the elite using the security agencies, using the courts, using INEC to enthrone mediocres in the place of leadership. Mediocres, not in terms of academic or human intelligence, but people who are unconscionable. I was listening to Patrice Lumumba, the Professor Patrick Lumumba, and they asked him whether is it that the African leaders, they don't know what to do. He said, no, they know what to do. And if you doubt him, you should listen to their campaign manifestos. They capture all the social issues that need to be addressed in their campaign manufactures, campaign rhetorics, promises, all whatnot. But when they enter into office, when they are fully seized of the office by swearing in, they just do opposite
Of what they said.
of what they said. So the problem there is the society. There is this natural law that says that everybody has a right to disobey an unjust law. Do you understand? In jurisprudence, those days when we taught jurisprudence, there is a natural right that you have to disobey an unjust law. Except and let me tell you, somebody was saying the other day that you have to protect the truth. You have to protect the truth. The truth is one of the endangered species in this country. The good governance is an endangered species in this country. Good conscience an endangered species in this country. Addressing the needs of the masses, these are endangered species in this mass, and we have to protect it. And who will protect it? It is by what they call when the people rise up, when the people have had enough, because the other day they wanted to do protests, they used the military to quell them. DSS came with all their lies to tell that they want to overthrow the Tinubu government. Who is interested in overthrowing Tinubu government? And the funny thing is that they just come with all these trumped up laws. You know that before you can prove treasonable felon in court, if the courts are not complicit, proving that you have to show evidence that the person you are charging of the offense of treason has the capacity. Coming out along the street, is it the capacity? You don't have arms, you don't have ammunition, you don't have what it takes, the arsenal, what it takes to overthrow the government, and they will just charge you. We live in a place if Nigeria is like an empty space. You understand? Where all kinds of low lives are governing. So that's just the problem. And they come up with all manner of trumped up charges in the courts that if you check out, there's what we call proof of evidence. If you are charging somebody over something, you have to bring your proof of evidence. What is the proof of evidence with which you want to use to charge somebody treasonable offense? How can you prove that the person have the capacity to overthrow government? Do you know what it takes to overthrow government? You're a civilian, like the way they call us bloody civilian. You don't even have a single shotgun, and they're charging you for treasonable felony. What is it? Is it stone that you want to use to overthrow government? So we're in dire straits. But I am not involved anyway, because God has always taken care of me. Because I've invested so much money in politics, selling my lands and properties, trying to get involved to say the truth and to bring laws that, because I understand that the problem of Nigeria is not law. I heard the primate saying that we need new laws. You don't need any new law in this country. We have one of the most beautiful laws. Look at our constitution. Look at American constitution. It's just roughly how many pages, but our constitution is volume. We have, you understand, and we have all manner of, go to read all our laws, NFL, Nigerian, all these things, plenty. It's not the poverty of law. It's not that. It is the implementation, the will to implement.
That will lack.
See the way we talk about. See the way the courts interpret our electoral laws.
It's a shame.
It's a shame. You're not talking of, most civilians who are not into politics, they don't even understand what's up in this country. They come up with all manner of ideas that doesn't have any practical way of solving the problem. We don't need new laws in this country. We have a plethora of laws, but who will implement them? Most times they don't implement them according to the intention of the constitution. They implement it in breach. Okay, I know we are short of time, but let me tell you, the Supreme Court gave a decision a few months ago or a few weeks ago on this local government, and a lot of people are saying that decision of the Supreme Court is against the Constitution. Why is it against? It's not against any Constitution, because the Constitution stipulates that the state and local government, they can have a joint account. But what is the intention? What is the intent or the intention of those who made that law? in that joint account. That joint account, was it made in a way that the state governors will operate it in breach? It was made in a way that the local government autonomy, the constitution says that the local government, the tenure of local government is guaranteed. In the first instance, the tenure of local government under this country is not even being guaranteed. Then that joint account is being operated in breach. Now what the governors do, they go there and dissolve the local government, constitute a sole administrator setup, appoint their stooges, and then operate the joint account by giving them just money to pay overhead of local government workers, and then use the rest to buy properties and buy foreign exchange. And then the Supreme Court comes to restore the mischief, that is to say, to restore the intention of that operation of joint account. And people are saying, you see, that the problem is not the absence of law. How do we operate? How do we implement it?
That's the problem. Anyways, I'll move over to Ambassador Virgins. If you can hear me, as a PDP youth stakeholder and a youth advocate, can we say the youth of this generation are fearless, or they are easily manipulated because they are used as a tool? And also we've been discussing vote buying, what I was asking you the other time, and we've seen them played out even in the last end bad governance protest. It was at a point it was the youth fighting themselves. So as a youth stakeholder, what can you say about this?
Network issues, as I'm currently in Edo, maybe because of where I am presently here in Edo, or local community, Ovia North, to be precise. I won't say they are fearless, and I beg to differ, because I know our youth. Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead. Go ahead. We can hear you.
With vigor, strength, and power. They are not weak. If you're saying they are weak, how come they were able to organize the NSAS protest? They are not weak. I just think the system have its own ways of how they impoverished the masses, not just the youth alone. And we need to understand the dynamics of Nigerian politics, because this will help us to navigate towards the right course and knows the systematic approach to remove this government or any government that is not well positioned with vision, foresight to lead the people. Our youth are full of strength, knowledge, vigor. They are not weak, but the government and the system is just trying to manipulate them onto what they plan to do them, to them negatively. Vote buying has been in existence before now. It's not only happening in Nigeria, in different countries, even in America. Vote buying is not just money when you give out money per se. Vote buying is also where you even give out those aids, those food, those items during election, those things to influence the decision of the electorate, as small as Indomie, as small as pure water, not just money, not just financial inducement. Those things you ought to do while in office before the electioneering period. Those things you need to give out as dividends of democracy. Why are you not doing them while in office or before the election, when you are not even in the election period? Why few months, few weeks, few days to the election? Why do you need that period? That is also vote buying. Because you can't be doing those things in less than an hour to few hours to the election, and you will not be able to influence the decision of whoever or those that are undecided voters. So these are also moods of our leaders has impoverished the system, not just the youth alone. Because when you say the youth, it's as if it's not, the elderly ones or every other persons are not being affected. I don't know if you understand. So they have this, they have this method, and until we decide on our own to leave that cocoon, to live and to understand the way these guys play this politics, to impoverish us so that we can just be at their back and call anytime they need us, for us to be answerable to them, even negatively or positively, without minding, because they want to eat. So when you impoverish the system, is a tool already in the hands of these leaders, because they know it works for them, especially in the northern axis of this sovereign nation called Nigeria. But we are not going to see that here in Edo, in the south. You could remember a few years back, there's a slogan that came out, Edo no be Lagos. And the same thing is applicable today. Edo is not Lagos. So we need to jettison this godfatherism and government of gerontocracy. Then we have people of the old that are still trying to make decisions for the younger generation. Someone that came out previously to say, okay, we are fighting godfatherism. That same person is not bringing that same philosophy you fought against. Bringing somebody as a stooge to place the person in the affairs of power in Edo State. How can you do such after you stood against that in the previous administration? So why are we having that now again? Come on. In a sane society, we should be having candidates that are not intellectually balanced. We shouldn't be having candidates that cannot speak for themselves. We shouldn't be having candidates that are not even well exposed. We shouldn't be having candidates that cannot even address the media. In a sane society, for crying out loud. In a sane society, do we need to even ask or even see some persons on the ballot? How did you get to the ballot? How? The process. Did you check the process, how you arrived there? So you find out that the system and the whole thing has been compromised. And we are here to jettison all those abnormalities, to make them understand, even if you find your way on the ballot, you cannot come and govern the people of Edo State with such credentials. While we have those that have been in the private sector, public sector for several years, handling international organizations, companies, chairman of different boards, organizations, international and locally, spreads and exchanging ideas, brilliant minds with international, based on international standards. And you want us to go and settle for less in this current dispensation, in this modern age, for crying out loud. Edo people are wiser now.
Okay.
They are wiser
Ambassador
now.
Virgins, what is the live update? Because you're ground and you know what's going. What's the live update as those decide? And do you think your party will be elected, given people's testimony against your party?
By the special grace of God, except they want to go and write the result in heaven. I'm telling you the gospel truth. As far as we are concerned, we have traversed the length and breadth of Edo State. We've gone nook and cranny, we've campaigned, we've preached the gospel of Aswe Igodalu. We have preached and canvassed.
Okay,
and
this is campaign.
With all
this is campaign.
The people of Edo State are ready.
We are not talking about the campaign.
To cast their vote.
We are not talking about the campaign. We are talking about what your party has done.
Great man of vision. They saw in him a man that is full of intellect and tact. They saw in him a man with foresight. They saw in him a man with great disposition. They saw in him a man with passion, empathy, love. They saw in him a man that still have more great positive things.
Okay. The campaign has ended, actually. Campaign has ended.
For somebody that don't even know how to navigate his or her way.
Campaign has ended. Looking at the antecedent of your party, do you stand? That's the question. Looking at the antecedent of your party, do you stand a chance in winning this? Leave campaign aside, and we all know they all have intellect and all of that. Then, Chris George, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. So, what do you think about the live update as Edo decides?
Well, for me, the people will decide who they want. I wouldn't want to say that my party, the APC, is going to win election. I wouldn't want to say PDP will win election. I won't say Labour Party will win. I am not in the mind of the Edo people. If you ask me as a party man, I will want to support my party, the APC. You understand? But I don't know what the man by my next door will be thinking, who he will be supporting. You understand? So for me, I wouldn't want to say, because I am an individual, I only have one vote. So I wouldn't say, oh, APC will win. But for me, I pray my party wins the election. The candidate is there, the candidate is good. The Edo people will decide between all the candidates, the candidate of the PDP, the candidate of the Labour Party, the candidate of the APC, which is more better for them. They will choose. For me, I will advise that the vote of the Edo people should not be manipulated. Let the vote be counted. Let it be one man, one vote, because that is a foundation of one man, one vote. Edo State is a foundation of the slogans, one man, one vote. So they should live up to expectation and vote for the candidate. They should be allowed to vote for the candidate of their choice. And let election not be manipulated by the military, by the police, or by any way. At least let the INEC use Edo State to clean their names, to salvage their names, not to allow them to be used by anybody, whether federal might or any means or by anybody. No, they should allow the people to come out to vote and let the vote of the people be counted. And then we will know who is more popular. Like I tell people, if you think you want to rig election, you need to be popular to be able to rig election. If you are not popular, you cannot rig election. It will cause, if you are not popular, you want to rig election, it will cause anarchy. It will cause a lot of problems because the people know who they want to. But I trust the Edo people. The Edo people did it before, and I know they will do it again. They will defend their vote. They will protect their vote. They will not allow their vote to be taken and given to a candidate which they do not understand, which they do not know, which they cannot represent them and bring better things to them. It is not about the big names. It is not about saying, oh, that they were once board members, they were this, they were that, or they were senators and all those things. No, the Edo people know who will stand for them, who will support them, who will make the land to be better. The people have gone through a lot for a very long time. They should be allowed to vote for the candidate of their choice. So that is my stake on the Edo governorship election.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Now, Prince God's time, I would like you to give a live update as Edo decides, and we'll wrap up the show.
My opinion on the Edo State election as regards live updates, very simple, because I'm not from Edo State. I'm from Delta State, and in the spirit of one band that we used to be made, that is the only ground that I would like to comment on the ongoing Edo State election. As a person, I'm an ideological young man, and I believe that there are some things you should not play with. You should not play politics with. I'm an advocate of LD politicking. I believe that if we must run campaigns, we must not run campaigns of calumny, as it has not degenerated in Edo State, whereby you see they are going physical on each other. You see the PDP trying to paint the APC candidate Ikpebolo as an illiterate. I want to state unequivocally that some assaulting on highly elevated diction or eloquence in English is not a yardstick to good governance and good leadership.
Prince God's time, can you hold on that thought? We have a caller.
Hello. You see, we are tired of this system of relations in Nigeria. See, they say the youth are lazy. Last election was fantastic. The youth came out and cast their votes. But their vote was denied. Where do we go from here? May God help us. The poor masses are suffering. The poor masses are suffering. The poor masses are suffering. They are suffering. because of hardship. God will bless us. Yes, my friend.
Okay, thank you for that. Ezechiku from Enugu. Far spent time discussing on as the Edo decides. So I would like to hear what's your last word before we wrap up the show. No, you're not forgetting actually.
Well, the Edo campaign has come, and the electoral law was kicked in. So the campaign, I'm sure, has continues also, but it will continue at a lower clandestine level. Now that we're having the candidates meeting with their party officials, delegates, to position them here and there as agents, and then they'll be dotting the, how do they call it, dot the I's and cross the T's. But at the end of the day, the militarization of that election, I wonder if democracy will be the winner. Because I learned that about 43,000 policemen have been drafted. The military have taken over virtually all the entry points, and everywhere. I learned also that the Chief of Defense Staff is there. And somebody said the other day that the president asked Edo APC when they came to visit him, do you want me to give you Edo? They said yes.
Oh, wow.
Maybe they should be over-militarizing that place. Is it the way of giving them Edo?
Edo.
You look at it, but Edo no they carry last, I believe
as I said, Edo is not Lagos.
Edo is not Lagos. Edo is not Lagos. So it will be a fight to finish. But that's not how policy is supposed to be. That's not how governance ought to be. That's not how we're supposed to
democratic
recruit those who will lead us.
Yes.
Leadership should be a transparently done, or rather, leadership recruitment process should be done transparently in an egalitarian, democratic way, so that the people will determine who governs them, because it is called government of the people, for the people, and by the people. So that is democracy. And you see all kinds of campaigns of calumny that predated it, because they felt that the people will lean towards Labour Party. They flew one kite that one Igbo woman wants to poison Yorubas and Edos. Most people don't understand how these politicians operate. When I heard that thing, I knew that this want to separate the people from, because the P2B is a Labour Party, so they wanted to fly that kite so that the Edos will not really be strong for Labour Party. There's a lot of things that people need to learn about politics in this country, that they just use all kinds of divisive means to achieve a certain end. And the funny part of it is, when you use all these kind of means to achieve the political power, what do you use it for?
Anyways, thank you very much for that, and I thank our guests from Ambassador Virgins and Chris George. I thank you so much for
my final words for crying out loud.
You can go ahead.
You want? Thank you. At least let's beckon on our Edolites. Let them come out. They should not be scared. We have over 40,000 security personnel that the federal government have promised to keep Edo safe and intact for the electorate. So they should not be scared. They should come out. You understand? We've been calling on our Igbo brothers here in Edo. We've been calling on the Anglicans. We've been calling on our brothers everywhere, in different localities, in different local governments. We've been calling them Uromi and the rest for them to all come out. They should not be scared.
Okay, thank you very much, Ambassador
will
Virgin.
be done in a free, fair, credible way. And at the end of the day, the PDP candidate, I swear he go that low. will be elected and will emerge victorious.
Okay, we'll
Come
see
tomorrow,
about that.
21st
Thank
of
you very much,
September
Ambassador
2024, by
Virgins.
the special grace of God. So please
Okay.
don't be scared. Out of 2,000.
All right. Thank you, viewers. Thank you for staying tuned and following us all through this episode of Now Streaming. Okay, I was about wrapping up the show.
Okay.
Yes, your last
For
word.
me, I will say yes. My last word is to the Edo people, that the Edo people should not be scared of anybody. They should not be scared of the politicians. They should not be scared that the federal government have said that they released about 40,000 security personnel to protect them and protect their vote. I will advise that the Edo people should go out and vote for the candidate of their choice without fear or favor, and then protect their vote. Stand there until the vote is being counted, the last number of the vote is being counted, and then protect their vote even to the collation unit, to the collation centers, and where they will declare the election result. And so that tomorrow they will be able to say, if the governor that they have elected is not doing well, they will say, yes, you are not doing well. And then they will have something to say to the governor, either protest or by any means they can do to the governor. So my final word is that they should go out and vote without fearing anybody. Just like that, my brother has said that the best candidate will emerge on a Saturday. And on Sunday, we will be glad and celebrate whosoever that they have been declared winner of the election.
All right, thank you very much, Honorable Chris Judge. Thank you so much, Virgin Skelechi Onyeze, and thank you, Priest Gus Time, for your time and your contribution. And I'm also thanking my studio guest, Barrister Patrice Aquara, for his time. And the viewers, thank you once again for staying tuned till we come your way next week. Please stay blessed.